Good morning, boys and girls. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you for that. Of course, without you being there, there's not a lot of point for me to be here. So thank you. Today is Sunday, the 27th of July, 25. It's another morning that I woke up and count my new subscribers from the last 24 hours and had a pretty good amount, and I'm very, very happy about it, and really can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it. I'm a little bit at a loss for words. I never anticipated this would happen, so I'm not quite sure what to do. What I'm really worried about is that I stop picking up subscribers because, you see, I don't know how this happened, that so many people have subscribed so quickly. So if it stops, I have no idea what to do about it. I'll have to figure that out. Or if anything can be done about it. I'm not even sure. One of the mentions that I made in a recent video was about the notifications. Everybody always says, every YouTube channel, and I know why they do it, and I do the same thing. There's nothing wrong with it as far as I'm concerned. They all say, please subscribe and comment, and there's reasons for that. That's so YouTube, the more exposure you get, the more they give you, is kind of the way I have it figured. I don't know if that's right or not. So I always tell people, thank you very much for subscribing. And ask if you haven't subscribed to please do so. And I encourage the comments because, believe it or not, I do read all the comments. At this point, I can. I'm sure there'll come a day when there'll be too many comments for me to be able to read them all. But the first thing I do after I turn the computer system on is look and see how many subscribers there is, and then start reading and responding to comments. And I love the comments. They've been wonderful. I mean, absolutely wonderful. And of course, you can see them. So there you go. Now, a few days ago, I was talking about someone had suggested that I have people sign up, or whatever you want to call it, for notifications. And last night, I don't have notifications set up on any of the sites that I'm subscribed to, although I will, because last night I found out what notifications does. I was sitting there talking to Amy, and she was on her phone, and she said, oh, look, you have a new video out. She signed up for notifications, and it let her know immediately that I had a new video out, which is exactly what it should do, I guess. I mean, it's pretty simple to figure out what the word notifications means. But that comes in incredibly handy. I'm going to tell you why. I don't have notifications set up on any of the ones that I'm subscribed to. So anytime I want to watch their channel and see a new video, I've got to thumb through and see if I can find what's their newest. And on a lot of them, like Destination Adventure and Adventures Made from Scratch, I have watched every video they've put out. So the only ones that I care to watch again, I've watched some of them more than once, but for the most part, I'm always looking for the new ones. If I sign up for notifications, I don't have to go searching looking for them. The YouTube will present them to me. So what that does is saves me a bunch of time and trouble of looking through, and saving people time and trouble is a wonderful thing to do. So the notifications, signing up for notifications, does have a good purpose for the viewer. So I would suggest, to save yourself some time and trouble, if you're interested in watching more of my videos, which I hope you are, then sign up for notifications. That way, when they come out, you get notified. You don't have to go looking all over the place trying to find them. I had some of the people in the comments, I released Shoeshine Boy Part 1 and Part 2 last night. This is probably going to end up being another Part 1 and Part 2 video, because I can only record for so long and download it to my computer. So I didn't do the cliffhanger on purpose. I had to break it into two things. But either way, I had some people let me know that their grandparents were World War I soldiers, and mine were as well. My parents were born and raised in England. my mom and my father, 1927, 1929, respectively. So they lived through the Second World War as children. And their parents, both of their parents, my father and my mother's fathers, were both, well, actually, my father's father was a World War I soldier, although I don't have any idea of rank or branch of the service or anything. My mother's father was actually, from what I understand, he was a civilian truck driver. And the reason I know he was a civilian truck driver is because I only ever met, being that my grandparents lived in England and we lived in the United States, I only ever met, in fact, I met my dad's father once. I met my mother's father 2 or 3 times because they would actually come to the United States to come visit. And I met my father's father when we went to England. I was 16 years old. We went to England for my oldest sister's wedding. Anyhow, so I know that my mother's father was a civilian truck driver because he would tell me stories, and one of the stories that he told me was how difficult it was to be a truck driver during World War I, not only because of the equipment that they had to drive, but because all the road signs had been taken down. All of the everything that indicated what road went where had been removed. Excuse me. So that if the Germans landed, they wouldn't have the advantage of street signs telling them where to go. So that's something else interesting, too. Excuse me. I still have no editing capability. I'd love to be able to edit those out, but I can't. When I went over there when I was 16, I was stunned to find that a lot of the properties were divided by stone walls. And on the stone walls, on the top of the stone walls, there was mortar with pieces of broken glass set in it. Of course, by the time I saw it, the glass was worn down and broken off, and there weren't a lot of sharp edges. But, I mean, it was glass. It was glass in the mortar. And I asked my parents about that. And they said that people had done that during World War II so that if the Germans landed and they went to cross over the wall, they'd get all hacked up. I mean, it's pretty gross if you think about it, but hey, war is war. So it is what it is. I talked about my dad in Shoeshine Boy. I want to talk about, if I can, if you don't mind, I want to talk about his work history a little bit because it's a fairly interesting story. He told me this when I was up there after he was diagnosed. He told me this. He said that after World War II, the economy and the infrastructure in England was destroyed. There wasn't a whole lot left. So in an effort to find work, he went to Saskatchewan, Canada, and got a job working on a sugar beet farm, pulling sugar beets. And while he was there, he met other people. Then he went back to England and I guess met my mom and did all that. And then they were going to go back to Canada. They were going to move from England to Canada, to Saskatchewan. But they ended up not being able to do it. Evidently, Canada was not allowing any more emigration from Europe into Canada, so they were not allowed to come over. I'm going to break this video right here and start part 2. Sit tight.